First deposit is due.
Do everybody to the new shul. Big Ashukayach to Rav Ori and to Rav Chesky. If you look at them last month, you got to start getting a feeling of what it means to be connected to such a holy thing. To be honest with you, that I never did this before, so I'm new for this, but this is the new shul, and I'm very excited to be part of this. Thank you, Rav Ori, thank you, Rav Chesky, and Moshe, and everybody else that was involved. My tefillah to the Rebbeinu Shalom is all the misnadvim that kept it coming in through Chesky posting, that they posted it for Yeshuas, for different things. Those should be niskabel, the schos of such a Morah Suda. Everybody that's here, everybody's being mishtatif, should be zeicha for everything that they need. In Yeshuas, refuas, and nechamas, they should be zeicha. They should daven, and the schos of the Suda. We should have a schos of the Aliyah, schos of the Torah, schos of the connection to the Rebbeinu Shalom. We should be zeicha for everything that we daven for tonight. Amen. So my wife called her uncle. Her uncle lives in New York. It's my mother-in-law's half brother. They share a mother, but a different father, and he is a direct descendant from the Bas Ayin. I mean, the brother of Bas Ayin. He's a direct descendant of the brother of Bas Ayin. Sounds very far-fetched, but he told my wife that he actually has the kais, the becher, and the menorah of the Bas Ayin. Yeah. And he said every year they make a suda, we're a big suda, and they bench on that kais. So my wife said, give me a good maisa of the Bas Ayin. And he said, the Bas Ayin, when he lived in Tzfas, he said he didn't go from very far place. He went from the shul to his house. He didn't really go to anything. One day there was a levaya for a Yid, and he went to the levaya of that Yid. After he came back from levaya, they asked the Bas Ayin, they said, who is that Yid? He said, I don't know. Maybe find out about him. They came back and they told him that this Yid used to do business in Egypt. And the person they did business with the daughter wanted to nishadach with this person. He said no, until they locked him up and they prepared a chasna for him. He comes up to the chasna and there's a fire over there. And he jumps into the fire, jumps in and out of the fire. And then this business partner said to his daughter, this is the person you want to marry, he's Meshuggah. And they sent him home. The Chevra Kadisha said that this person, when they did tahar on him, his bottom, his feet were burnt. The rest of life he lived with Yisurim because of this. They came back, they told the Bas Ayin, Bas Ayin said, that's the pshat. I saw a fire was being mislavet together with the mace, and that's the pshat, that's the Aish that was being mislavet together, that's why I went. The Rami Panu says that the Morah tells us in Brachas above and Beis, Agro de Behilula, Mili. You find Hilula referred to as a chasna, but you find the Hilula is also by a Yahrtzeit, but tzaddik is also referred to as the Hilula. Many different pshatim are said. And he said the Yisroel is this mili. It's the words that we say of that, about the chassan, about the Yahrtzeit of that tzaddik. He says that's the agra, that brings us the reward, that brings us the schar. So I tell you one word over here that I saw from the Bas Ayin, which talked to me tremendously. It says, "Vahikim shloish chadashim." It's a pasuk in Parashat Vayeshev, in Yonam of Chanukah. And the pasuk says, "Vayukim shloish chadashim." It was in 3 months. Vayugad the Yehuda. They told Yehuda, "Lemor, zonsa samar kalasecha." Tamar, your daughter-in-law, was mezaneh. V'gam hinei hara lezunim. Now she was mezaneh. She's pregnant from this ma'asa's nus. Vayomer Yehuda said, "Eitzil v'tisar, take her out and burn her." Himutzeis. Tamar has been taken out. She said to her father-in-law, Lemor, leish asher eluloi, these, to the person that these things are his, that's what I'm pregnant to. Vatoimer, she said, Hakerna, please recognize, who are these signet, who the psilim, the psil, and who the mata, who this staff is. You're right. It's from me, because I did not give it to Shayla. So Dr. Bas Ayin and a hafladik and moiridik of shot in this. Amazing shot. He said over here, it was Rosh Hashanah to Chanukah, was around 3 months. That's the end of the Chasima. The Chasima that we have in Rosh Hashanah is Nigmar by Chanukah. From the Mekatcher comes the Fnei Bayra Elamim, which is Vayomer Yehuda. Yehuda refers to the Rebbeinu Shalom, Yudkei Vavkei, the names of Yehuda is the Rebbeinu Shalom, Shem the Rebbeinu Shalom. Loimer Zantzar Tamar Kalasecha, Klai Yisroel, who's Nidmel Tamar. Klai Yisroel is compared to Tamar. Kalasecha, Klai Yisroel is compared to Kala. He needs Zamsal Samar. He's the Rebbeinu Shalom. They left after you. They're not Shemer. They're not yours anymore. Not only were they Zantzal Samar Kalasecha, they Hara Zanunim. Hara, he says, lashon of the China Devekos. They're connected, meaning without any temptations, they have no more shaykhs to Yiddishkeit. He says, Han me'atzma hi devuka tamei b'tavasa. They're attached to the tigers without anything, without any geirim. Vayomer Yehuda, Rebbeinu Shalom said, if that's b'shat, haitziu v'sisar, he says, they're done. Klal Yisrael's done. Himutzeis. The pasuk continues. The pasuk says, Himutzeis v'yishochel chamel leimor. Klal Yisrael saying, Himutzeis, they're taking out to get killed. V'yishochel chamel leimor. L'mi asher eile Eloi. To the person asher eile Eloi. Eile Eloi is Gematria 72. Which is the Rebbeinu Shalom, which is Mekara Chesed. He says, no, we're Devuka Bach. Rebbeinu Shalom, L'mi asher Eiloloi nochi hara. I'm hara, I'm connected to the person of Eiloloi, to Mekara Chesed. Umasha nachnu oisin lepam min neger ratzayin abayir. That was sometimes you go against the Rebbeinu Shalom. Rak machas roi tirdas hazman. He said, Rebbeinu, because we're so busy, tirdas haparnasa. We have so much on our heads. And different things that we experience of the emes, the pnimis leiv, the inside, the pnimis of every single year. Devukim anachnu, the goydel chiva tshuka rak lebayir lama. Our chiva tshuka is the Rebbeinu Shalom. Mi asher eila loy nochi hara. V'atoymer, and more than that, we say to the Rebbeinu Shalom, haker na. Recognize, we'll show you we're so connected to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Recognize, l'miach chaysemes. The chaysemes recognizes the pach hashemen that was a chaysem of the Kohen Gadol. HaPesilim represents the Pesil of Chanukah, the wicks of Chanukah. The Hamatan, the staff, is Gematrio. Imakoilol is Kales, is 60. Imakoilol. Rebbeinu Shalom recognize we're so connected to you. Look at the nearest Chanukah. Look up there, you see we're Mekayim mitzvahs Rebbeinu Shalom. And that's a raya mufuresha shenachim hochem rak achar tzeincha. V'chashukim devuchim rak bach. We're with Rebbeinu Shalom. We just want you. That which we go sometimes, like we said before. Is just because we have so much going on our plates. Vayomer Yehuda, the Rebbeinu Shalom responds. The Rebbeinu Shalom says, Satka, you're right, Mimeni. You're 100% right. Kaviyachal Yichai Bezer. The Rebbeinu Shalom says, you're right, it's me. The Rebbeinu Shalom, Kaviyachal, Haina Bayer Baruch Hu, Moidil Hem Shehem Tzaddikim. He said, Klal Yisrael, you're right. Kani Roya She'emes Hu Mashem Devekim Rakbi. I know, the truth really is Klal Yisrael is connected to the Rebbeinu Shalom. And now sometimes they go do things connected to the Ratzon of the Rebbeinu Shalom. Ka'kein l'nisatil the Sheila b'ni. Sheila represents Shaila, represents the Mashiach. It's because the Richas Galos is so much, and therefore because of that, that's the reason why Klal Yisrael is sometimes, we're nichshal sometimes. I think we're going back over here. Yeah, we had over here around 3 months ago. We started off over here 3 months ago in the shul. Such connection to the Rebbeinu Shalom. We're different people. We're not the same people. The Rebbeinu Shalom knows. We all know they were different people. We went through Yom Ne'roim. We went through Simchas Torah. We went, yes, maybe we have the Tirdas Hazman. We come back to such a gathering. This is which the Rebbeinu Shalom sees. This is what we're connected to. This is our Aish. This is our fire. The fire of connection to the Rebbeinu Shalom. So really, once again, Rabbi Ori, thank you, really. And Rucheski, such close that you brought us back. You connected everybody here back to the Rebbeinu Shalom.
Extra simcha to come and the smothers that's only 3 months old and it's already too small. I have to help us to go Mechaim and Khal. I got a little taste of the Khal last week when I got to meet some of the Yingalat and spoke a little bit and learning. Was the first impression was excellent. Ohr Hachaim, Mechaim and Khal. And the Chushve Ma'argin of the Ma'arginim of tonight's event, Rabbi Strum. It was interesting, last year the Yahrtzeit of the Bas Ayin, we had our own Bas Ayin seed in Khal Hasidim and our Smedrish, and I had printed out a Gillian in Yiddish of tefillos of the Bas Ayin. It's someone in Williamsburg, I think, gives it out, and beautifully he's malakit the Divrei Torah, and he translates it in Yiddish, and he's malach, and he brought down the cover of the Yahrtzeit. He had a mama the cover of the Yahrtzeit. And he brings down a word as the Bas Ayin is Messiah every Dvar Torah in his cipher with the words keine heilige. So he brings down, I set it up for the Oilam, as the gematria von keine heilige is Avraham Dov Ber, the nomen of the Bas Ayin. And he brings it down B'Shem Omroi, B'Shem Magid, Rabbi Strum. Now I said B'Shem Omroi, and I was shocked when people told me this Rabbi Strum is right here in Baltimore. I was like thinking this is the new Magid, maybe there's no competition with him. I might have been or something, but it was. He has a gewaltige schis, and Khal, it's a schis. To be able to get together the chvoidos and as a größe Yisroel Kudish. It's not like there wasn't solche to leave over doires. The idea from Zvurim, from tzaddikim, that it's something that didn't leave over generations. His koyach is a matuna that's übergegeben for the door. It's interesting, we look around, even at Yisroel, what's the biggest Yahrtzeit in Yisroel? Chitz Lagoyim Reb Shimba Yechui, the Reb Chaim Kudish, and the Belzeruf. They say the 3 biggest Yahrtzeit in Yisroel, all for the same day of the week. Lagoyim and Chuf Aleph over the Belzeruf Yahrtzeit and the Reb Chaim Kudish, the Tesvuf Tamas. The Reb Chaim Kudish and the Belzeruf both didn't have children. And to some talk, even here in America, what's the 3 most popular kvurim, kibbutz tzaddikim that people go to? The Barkin Rebbe next, Limnitz and Satmer Rebbe. Three Gedolim that didn't leave over the Zerisha Kayoma, that's an Amatuna for the door. The heilige Bas Ayin didn't leave over Doiris, but Zamatuna, his koyach is given for Khal Yisroel. That's what we see, especially in the last few years, was Yisroel Kedoshim, Im Einam Neviim, Benai Neviim. We see as an extra occasion was Khal Yisroel had with this tzaddik, and Kamayim Apunim Apunim. The heilige Bas Ayin is Mashpia, Yeshias, so many people, so many stories that people say, is about the Erste Wurim Begoy. I'm going to say a kurze Wort, maybe talk on the name of the heilige Seifer Bas Ayin. He writes himself in the Akdumme that his Rebbe, Mother Janobele, told him to give the name, I think, Toldes Udam, because it's Rosh Taivis, Avraham Dov Ber, his name as well. Lemasi, he said he was ready, Goyme Bedato, to give the name Bas Ayin, which is the gematria of Avraham Dov Ber, and Amayle, he gave this name. So another Indian, a Remes, in the Vete Bas Ayin, was the Pashtas, it's interesting words. And I'll be marked them, I'm already gewollt von der heilige Bas Ayin. The Bas Ayin says, Khal Yisroel, the word Yisroel is begematria 541. Those are the exact same gematria, like Ohr and Choshech together are gematria 541. He's masbele darkoi. Aber es kennt an Indien dem, see you see what it says in Zohar HaKodesh. Lecken no hoire, elu den nufik migoy chashayche. Any person wants to be zoiche, and any madreige in Rachnias, any or, the only way to be zoiche to anything in Rachnias is through Schwierigkeiten, through Nisyonis. If something doesn't come easy, is a simon that there's something good to it. A person goes through Sheva Yipul Tzadik V'kom. To be able to be Zoicha to this V'kom, there's a Tnai Koidem Lamasa, Sheva Yipul Tzadik. It's not easy to be Zoicha to anything in Rachnias. You have to work, be Miskaber on the Nisyonis, and this is a heilige, it's the only way to reach. Leken Hoire. You can never reach any or only if it's all Mitoch HaChoshech. And this is the avoide and the yisod from Khal Yisroel. One of the tzaddikim said, the difference by Khal Yisroel and the Havli by Imes Oilam, the Goyim, they have their day of rest. Their Yom Manicha is when? Sunday, the beginning of the week. Khal Yisroel is fakir. We have at the end of the week. Khal Yisroel is bereishe chashoiche v'hude nehoidem. Tzaddikim tchelusam yesirim v'soifam shalve. By the Goyim is pink fakir. Khal Yisroel is begematria choshech and or together. Because this is a yesod in Khal Yisroel. To be zoiche to or, we have to go through the choshech. I'm already gewollt from the Bas Ayin. He says, Chazal zogen, Hafsach bein tfille le tfille, avairi beyudoi v'choyze my Ohr Hachaim l'chomo. If a person is mafsik between tfilin shel yad and tfilin shel rosh, it's an avair and he's choyze my Ohr Hachaim l'chomo. Zug the Bas Ayin areimens. What's the Indian pink days? Sach bein tfille shel yad le tfille shel rosh. Zug the Bas Ayin. Tfilin shel yad is keneged alev. Keneged alev, this is merames on the lev nishper. Merames on schwerigkeiten, nisyoines, choshech. Tfilin shel rosh, he explains, this is merames on chesed. Someone that's mafsek, he feels, clearly we can be zoiche to any madreige without having to go through the choshech first. Availi biyuda v'choyze Morah Chamachomah. And that's why we have to put tefillin shel yad before we put tefillin shel rosh. Because in order to be zoiche to the Ohr, the only way to be zoiche to Ohr is by going through first the tefillin shel yad. The lev nishper v'nitke elikim l'sivze. That's the only way to be zoiche to them. Ken that also the name is Bas Ayin. What's the Bas Ayin? Shomrayim ke ishoin Bas Ayin. Bas Ayin means ishoin Bas Ayin. This is the apple of the eye, the black ball in the eye. This is the digma was more misfallen shamrayni keishon Bas Ayin. That's full. The eyesight of a person is not from the white part of the eye; it's from the shocher sheba ayin, the dark part of the eye. Because Ainu al Nicker Elu mitoch HaChoshech. The Shul of Ayin. That's where the light comes from. The heilige Bas Ayin gave his cipher the name Bas Ayin. We should be take the Mr. Haskell and the limit of this Bas Ayin, of this Ishoin, the Shul of Ayin, as Ainu al Nicker Elu mitoch HaChoshech. En Chalom B'Sayim, ze met een mooie geword van de heilige Bas Ayin. On Parashas Vayechi, I saw lately people bring down of their shtickle Bas Ayin is a skill. People, some people bring, they learned it 40 days, and they were zoichet yeshiyas and panusa. I don't know if it's a skill, but it's definitely a yisod and Yiddishkeit. Zog them my ushai shmeinu lachmoi vehi yitain madanai melech. So that sometimes people go through tzudas. They go through, they don't have panusa, they don't have gezin, they don't have nachas. But a person has to know, no matter what matzav he is in, he has to aibig thank and loib the aibishte. So the ma'ushai, melushan ashrai, melushan thanking the aibishte. No matter what matzav the person is in, whether it's shmeine is melushan neshuma. If he only has a neshuma to thank akol neshima. Others look that shmeine is auch melushan neshamo, melushan shmomo, nothing. Shmeinu lachmo, he doesn't have any lechem. Oh, but he still is my ushai. He loibs and thanks the Aish al kol neshima and neshima. Because like we said, Khal Yisroel is all v'choshech zusammen. He understands that the choshech is still, it's only a way to be zoiche to the Ohr. My ushai, if a person dankt and loibt the Eibishter, even when it's shmeine lachmoi, zog the Teure, the sof will be vehi yitain madanai melech, because it's the shucher shebayin, it's the Bas Ayin that brings the light afterwards. Eibishter that helfen. We should be zoiche to be nestabik and have a shaykhas in the connection with the limit of the heilige Bas Ayin. Learning is teure, Chazal zogen ein oisen nefushes der tzaddikim, Divrei hen sich roinan. When oisek in deze Divrei Torah, das ist a Pchine von der Stadt, Chazal Tiferes la tzaddik. A tzaddik was auf der Shibir was kan kinder. He left his koyach in his cipher, and not just learning his words, but trying to be mekasher ourselves in his words, and have a shtickle a heilige that he's teaching us. So the Aish tells we should all have what to thank Hashem for. And even if chas v'shulam not, we should know as if my usher shmeine lachmoi, v'hi yitayim madanai melech. We should zoiche, b'schisoi shaloise tzaddik, that we're getting together lechvoidoi, to remember the Vrayim henan zechroinam. He should mashpia for all of us. He should be mashpia for ganz Klal Yisroel. Bune, Chaye, Mezoine, Yidden, Madanai, Melech, from the Malkoi Shaloilam, until we'll be Zoiche to the Gele Shalaime with Mashiach Tzedkaini, B'mheire, B'mayni Umar.
Oh Maluchim Lefunov. In the parsha of this week, the parsha with Yidden, Yaakov Avinu, is in Gulis. Is Yaakov Avinu sent Malachim Lefunov to Esav, to his brother. Says Rashi, what Malachim? Malachim Mamish. Zog the heilige Bas Ayin. Oh, you speak or I'm speaking? Says the heilige Bas Ayin in Sefer. He hear from his Rebbe der Magid. Und Vayishlach Yaakov Maluchim Lefunov Rosh Tiferes Vayomor. Vayishlach is Vav, Yaakov is Yud, Malachim is Mem, Lefunov is Alamed. Velo Yevanti, Velo Yudati, this is the Lashon there, he didn't remember what his Rebbe says. Why Vayishlach Yaakov, Malachim Lefunov is Rosh Tiferes Vayomor. Teire Yidden, in the parsha from the Akedah, it says in the parsha there, when the Malach came to Avraham Avinu, and Yitzchak was on the Mizbeach, and he told him, Al tishlach yotchu lanar, ve'al ta'as lo me'uma, don't do nothing for the Ingale. Ki ato yodati, now I know. Ki yere Elokim ato. I know Avram. You are Yirei Shomayim. V'lo yichosachto es bincha. You don't save, you son, mimeni. Who is speaking here? The Ribono Shel Olam or the Malach? The Malach speaks here. What is mimeni for me? V'leichosachto es bincha es yechitcha mimenu, from the Ribono Shel Olam. What is mimeni? I am the Malach. You save the son for the Malach. But the hesber is, listen, Rabbi Weiss, in every mitzvah what a Yid is doing, is creating a Malach. A mitzvah b'shleimus is a Malach b'shleimus. You come late to the davening, you prepare a Malach, you create a Malach, but a cripple Malach. You learn instead 1 hour, only half an hour, is a Malach without a head. And if you don't go to Shul, davening, you daven at home, you carry a Malach without 2 legs. When you make a mitzvah b'shleimus, you make a mitzvah b'shleimus. A full mitzvah. When Avraham Avinu was makriv his son, in the Malach came to Avraham and it says, Al tishlach yotcho el anar, ve'al ta'as lo me'uma. Is Avraham says to the Malach, Malach, you know the Ribono Shel Olam told me to do it. And if I'm not doing it, it's only half a Malach. Says the Malach, don't worry, Avraham. Look on me. I am the Malach, what you create for the mitzvah. I am the Malach. I'm the full Malach. V'leichosachto es bincha, es yechitcha. Look at me. Mimeni. I am the Malach, what the Ribono Shel Olam create me. Ken Zayin, Yaakov Avinu would like to send to Esav Malachim Mamish. How can Yid found a Malachim Mamish? How many times in the Bas Ayin says in Sefer, you make a mitzvah b'shleimus, you make a mitzvah b'achnoe, b'ahava, b'yira, b'shleimus. You make a mitzvah. See, unfortunately, we live in a world what is very hard to make a mitzvah b'shleimus. Yaakov Avinu was looking at a mitzvah b'shleimus, a malach mamish. One mitzvah is everyone doing b'shleimus. the mitzvah in Bris Milah. Nobody asked you, nobody talked with you, you 8 days old. He was looking for Malachim Mamish. How he can find a Malach Mamish? Kotointi mikol hachasudim mikol uemes is Yaakov Avinu. I don't have a Malach. But one Malach I have. Vayomol, the Malach in Bris Milah. This Yaakov sent, I can send to Esav. This is a Malach who is Mikai, Mikuyim, Bishleimus. I'm sending to Esav. This is the Pshat in Bas Ayin, where the Bas Ayin brings down from his Rebbe, from the Magid. Vayishlach Yaakov Maluchim Lefunov, who the Tiferes Vayumol. We heard here beforehand why the Sefer called Bas Ayin. Then it says, his Rebbe would like the name which he told this Adam. The Bas Ayin gave a name Bas Ayin. Not Ben Ayin, Bas Ayin, a daughter, Bas. Not Einayim, Ayin. Bas Ayin. Why it's called Bas Ayin? In the Sefer in Bas Ayin, I don't know if people learning the Sefer here, but I'm telling you, Reb Shimon Sigelman maybe is here. He learns every week Bas Ayin. When you sit in front of your friend and you look in his eye, inside in his eye, in the black part, what you see in his black part in his eyes? Says Mrs. Zalman Meltzer Zatzal, you see yourself. You see how small you are. You see the Achnoe. You see the Anove. You see the Yira. How I am. I see my friend's eye. I'm not so big, not so great. I'm a very small man. The Sefer Bas Ayin is built up many, many places. Achnoe, Anove. You know what Achnoe is? Not everyone knows Achnoe is. Achnoe is you nichna, you listen what greater people saying to you. You nichna for the Ribono Shel Olam. You don't argue. You don't argue with Harav. You don't argue with Harebi. You are nichna what they're telling you. Says the Bas Ayin, Ayin. Look in somebody else's eye. And then you see exactly your image. How you are, how big you are. Why he called it Bas? Maybe Ben. But it's a famous word. Die Tzaddikim brings sich auf Schmeiz in Akdume. Everyone knows Bas Tchila, Simen Yofe Lebani. First girl is Simen Yofe Lebani. Says the Ktsois, a Ben, a boy, you have to learn Torah with him. Everyone is obligated to learn with your children. A Bas, a girl, You don't have to learn Torah with her. So, not Gemara, definitely not. However, a girls, you have to look at them, they should have Yirei Shomayim. Yirei Shomayim. Says the Ktsois, Bas Techila, Reish is Chachmo, is Yiras Hashem. Bas Techila, if you have Yirei Shomayim before learning, is Simen Yofel Lebonim, or a Torah you learn later. Reish is Chachma, Yiras Hashem. Sefer Bas Ayin is built up on Yiras Hashem. Ahavas Hashem in Yiras Hashem. This is Reish is Chachmo. Bas. Bas is Yiras Shamayim. And then comes the Ayin, the Achnoe, the Nichna, and to look in somebody else. Mi Godol for the Bas Ayin. The Bas Ayin actually was a rich man. He used to live in Europe, in Jitamir. He was a great tzaddik there. He has many followers. He left for a certain family reason. He came to Yisroel. He was a Oni ve'evyoin. Tsar u'motzoik in his life. However, he was always looking about his brothers. He went back to Europe just to raise money for the Yidden in Tzfas, where they should to live in the sustain. Tyre Yidden, we're holding now in Parshas Vayetze, Vayishlach, Vayeshev. Let's daven for the Ribono Shel Olam. Schus und tzaddikim. You're sitting here in a Seudah. David HaMelech says in Tehillim, in Kapitel Kuf Yutes, Oy Samech, Seodeini ve'ivosheyu, ve'eshu bechukecha samid. Says tzaddikim is to say, Seodeini, make a Seudah. Sit together. Ve'ivosheya, bischus in the Seudah, is comes Yeshuois, where people need Banei, Chaye, Mezoinei, children, Parnose, health, Nache, Shalom Bayis, Sadeini, Vivasheya. But with one condition has come together. Ve'esha bechukecha samid. With learning Torah. Let's, for this evening, decide, everyone here, at least once a week, to Mekayem Limud HaTorah, to learn a bit Torah Akdoshe. Torah Akdoshe brings close to tzaddikim, to Yidden, it's the Ribono Shel Olam. Toiras Hashem Temimo Meshivas Nofesh. One thing we have in Galus, we should be zoiche not to vayeshev in Galus. We should be zoiche to vayeshev in Galus is limud HaTorah. Because ki heim chayenu v'oirech yomeinu uvahem nehege iyoimon v'loilo ad bias Mashiach tzidkeinu b'mheira.
Hello. is buried. Feel a sense of Kedusha, Eretz Yisroel, in this very beautiful place. I want to thank Barkin for beginning such a beautiful new Kehillah Kedusha, which we need this kind of ruach in Baltimore. Yes, I want to thank my dear friend Ohr Hachaim.
He's a big tzaddik. Ohr is a big tzaddik. Boy, from his Kislev to his Yisroel. Ohr is a big tzaddik. Ohr is a big tzaddik. Ohr is a big tzaddik. Right from his Kislev to his Yisroel.
Achasky is a
Big tzaddik. Achasky is a big tzaddik. From his Kislev.
One of the rabbis of the Bas Ayin. One of the rabbis of the Bas Ayin was a Kedusha Levi, the lady Yitzchak of Riditchev. So I heard this story from my rabbi, Zevin Tzadik B'Bracha, Rabbi Shlomo Tursky. He said that the Morah B'Shemesh was one of the earlier great Kedusha rabbis. When he was a boy, the Kedusha Levi passed through where he was living. And this little boy went to go see the Tiferes. And it was time to daven. And the Kedusha Levi put on his talis. And this boy, who would later become the Morah B'Shemesh, he was standing next to the Kedusha Levi when he was misatef the talisa, and he got wrapped up in the talis of the Tiferes. And when he stepped out of the talis, everybody said he was a changed person. Something happened, became a changed human being. Later on in life, being Ohr B'Shemesh became a Talmud of the Reb Elimelech of Lezhensk, Noam Elimelech. And they were once traveling together, and they came across the Tiferes. And the Noam Elimelech introduced his Talmud to Tiferes. Said, "This is my Talmud, Kostelitz Kalman." And the Kedusha Levi looked at him, now many, many years later, and he said, "No, he's one of my Talmidim." So what's the lesson? First of all, when everybody says, what's the lesson? You have to derive your own lesson. There are many, many lessons in these Sipurim. But one of them that I derive is that when a person is in the midst of Kedusha, that they become affected. They're mushpa. We can't walk away from Kedusha the same person as we were before. My brother-in-law once said that there's a halacha when you get called up to an aliyah to the Torah that you go up a certain way and go down the other way. He said maybe that's the idea. The Torah changes you. You can't go back the same way that you came from. Rabbi Tversky Zatzal also said, Lech lecha mi'artzecha, go from your land. And he concludes that Sivui to Avraham Avinu with El ha'oretz asher ar'eka, to the land that I will show you. So the question is raised, why doesn't Hashem tell Avraham Avinu where he's going? El Eretz Asher Areka, why doesn't he say that? Eretz Canaan. Many different approaches to this. Rabbi Twersky Zatzal said that a person cannot predict what a spiritual experience is going to be like. And if we attempt to predict the experience, we're actually limiting ourselves. Because I already know what it's going to be. I know what's going to happen when I put on my tefillin. What's going to happen when I shake my lulav. We're limiting our experience in Ruchnius. So Hashem was telling Avraham Avinu, Elo Eretz Asher Areka, let the mitzvah take you somewhere. Let the mitzvah itself land you in that place. See what happens. See what happens when you embark on the path of the Torah, and it will take you someplace. I wanted to share one more thought with you, also from Mori Barabi, Zechu Tzadik Livracha, whose ancestor, the Morah was the Rebbe of the Bas Ayin. So we had a good connection. Last week's Parsha, Parshas Yahrtzeit, the Torah says about the Sulam, Mutzav Artzav Rosho Magia Hashamoima. So Rabbi Twersky said that the word Artza means toward the earth, not on the earth. Why doesn't the ladder stand on the earth? We can understand Hashamayma because the Shamayim has no end. Hashamayma is toward the heavens. But Artza, you could stand on the ground, all Ha'oretz. So he said the following machshava. So it sounds like the ladder, the sulam that Yaakov Avinu saw in his nevuah, it did not have a bottom rung. The bottom rung was missing. Artza, it's almost to the ground, but not quite. The bottom rung means that every person has to put the bottom rung on the ladder. The ladder is taking us to Shamayim, but no person can help me get up on that ladder. I've got to do that myself. We can have mashpi'im, people who influence us, and thank God we all do. But in order to get on that ladder, that's our own personal relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And each person has their own. It's never the same. We have to put the bottom rung on the ladder, to step up on that sulam to go Hashamayma. That's every person's personal choice, their own unique path in Avodas Hashem. I know when I was younger, I did not like when people told me what kind of Jew I should be. It never resonated with me. How do you know what kind of Jew I should be? And usually when it came to that kind of person, I usually just shut them out. Because I felt like they don't get me. But when I came across a great person or two who was encouraging me to find my own path in Torah, not telling me what to do, but encouraging me, well, that I can open myself up to. My heart opens to that kind of a person. And I think that Bizmanenu, that we have to be very cognizant of this, both for ourselves and for other people, that everybody has their own way up the ladder of Torah. And to teach and to learn and be inspired, and then make that choice, and then it's yours. We could say that it's a kinyan when you do that yourself. People who are raised in a family of Shmiras HaTorah v'HaMitzvos, we're given the ladder. We are given the ladder. But ultimately, as an adult, we have to decide how we want to walk up that ladder. That's a very personal thing. No one can know that except for what's in your own heart. And I must say that I feel very fortunate that in my life, I was able to meet a few people who helped me and then step back and let me make my choice. So I'll conclude with one final story about that topic. When I was 19 years old, I was living in Denver where I was born and raised. My father was a Rav in Denver. And I really grew up more like a YU type, religious Zionist type of Yiddishkeit. That's how I grew up. My father was very close friends with Rabbi Twersky Zatzal, who was a Hasidic Rav and Rebbe in Denver. And people used to marvel at that friendship because my father was clean-shaven with a mustache, and Rabbi Twersky was very Hasidic in all of his ways, and they were very close friends. My father used to take me to his house to bake matzahs on Erev Pesach when I was a boy. I have strong memories of poking the holes in the matzah with the forks. So when I was 19 years old, I finished a year in Eretz Yisroel, searching for my path. I went to Rabbi Twersky's house, who I hadn't seen in a few years, and I laid out for him my struggles, my conflicts, what I was looking for at that time in my life, and which direction I should take. And he looked at me, and he said, Menachem, a decision is the loneliest place in the world. And then he walked away. Now I'm thinking to myself, he's supposed to answer my questions. The loneliest place in the world, and he walked away. Like, what just happened? So I thought about it for several days, and I realized that he did answer my question. He was saying to me, time to grow up. You got to make choices in life. I can't make your choices for you. I'll help you, but you have to make your own choices in life. So that conversation occurred 48 years ago. I remember it literally like he's right in front of me. So I want to say to all of you, very, very precious, beautiful people in front of me. I'm very moved by what you're doing here, the ruchnius in this room, the wonderful Rav. Very moved by this. Own your choices. No one can make them but you. And when you own them, they are the most precious thing in the world. People can take away a lot of things from us, but they cannot take away our choices that we own. And that ultimately is our place in this world and in the next world. May we always zoche, B'ezras Hashem, to make beautiful, productive, good choices in our lives. And when we don't, to recover and make another good choice after that.
Amen.
Can you give me an E minor on that?
Oh, get an E minor.
Give me an E minor on it.
I don't want to take away from the party, but Suda covered the Hilula of the heilige Bas Ayin. So I just want to share with the Olam a couple of mices they already said, no? No, they didn't say a couple of mices.
Have you say it again, say it 3 times, say it more.
What is this? Chicken dip? What? No double dipping.
Rebbe, we're neshamas connected.
All right. Anyway, I'll just say over just one brief Maisa and a word from the heilige Bas Ayin, and then tzaddik tzedavayda. But this I wanted to say because I was thinking a long time that I wanted a schus to be able to say this. Reshus to Marasa. No, really. It's true. I think I could say on Reb Shimon and myself, I call it the Meskana Chutz Mibnoi Utal Midoi, that the friendship is B'Pchinas B'noi, and Nachal Amais is 20 years. We did sit together in the shul, so Reshus Maradas. 21 years. 21 years? Yeah. All right. Anyway, so they say to Maisa that the heilige Bas Ayin, he only spent the last few years of his life really in Tzvas. Most of the years he was in Ukraine and Avritch and all the other places, but he became more mefursim to us from the tkufa that he spent in Tzvas. And it was a very difficult, those 6-7 years from, I'm not a historian, but the 6-7 years from 1833 to 1840 were mamish tragedy after tragedy, from Arab riots, the Egyptians taking over the Turks, and of course the famous earthquake. Everybody knows the mice about the earthquake, and then, finally, of course, in the plague, that so many died, and he said that he's going to be the last carbon in Kachava after he died, the plague. But there was one tkufa that he was thinking maybe he has to leave Tzvas. It's just too difficult. He couldn't do it anymore. Chachi had his own money. He had real estate back in Ukraine, and he didn't need for anything, and that's why he was able to do so much. But still, he thought maybe it's not shaykh, I got to go back. And he'd made a decision that he's going to leave. He was walking down, it was right after Sukkot, he was walking down the street in Tzvas, and he looks up and he sees that the Yidden, the Jewish women, were, in the middle of the day, it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day, they were taking off the vesh. They had hung out their wash to dry, before the times of washer and dryer. They hung out their wash to dry, and they were taking it off. So he said to one of them, "Why are you taking off the wash?" So they said, "It's going to rain." So he said, "What do you mean it's going to rain? It's a beautiful sunny day." So they say, "What are you talking about? Today is Zayin Mar Cheshvan, and we started to say V'sein Talu Mata Livracha, and Mamela it's going to rain, so we got to take down the wash." Thursday night we're going to start saying V'sein Talu Mata Livracha. Make sure you take down the wash, right? So he said, a place like Tzvas, where the Yidden is, the simple women who are doing laundry, have such an emunah that when they say V'sein Talu Mata Livracha, it's going to rain, just like you would hear from the forecast on Weather Channel that it's going to rain. If you hear the Weather Channel will say it's going to rain, you take in the wash. And V'sein Talu Mata, she said, I can't leave a place like this. So that's a ma'aseh that they say over in the heilige Bas Ayin. I just want to share with you Mamish Bekitza Nimritz, a word from the Bas Ayin, and it's got the first shtickle in the Sefer, so if you're coming together, and maybe it's your first time celebrating the Bas Ayin's Yom Ha'Dilu. You said it over already, the first piece? Oh, okay. Oh, so I'm saying, but if it's your first time, maybe celebrating, so maybe it's a good thing that it's the first time that maybe we learn a shtickle from the Bas Ayin, and this could be the first of many in your lives of learning the heilige Sefer, the Bas Ayin. So he says like this, he says, Bereishis bara, he's telling sich on the pasuk of Bereishis bara Elikim, Eis Hashemayim V'Hisorerus. The pasuk says Vayem Yehi Or Vayehi Or. Twice the pasuk says Yehi Or. So he wants to know, why does the pasuk say twice Yehi Or? So he says like this. It says, Bereishis, the Rebbeinu Shalom created the world, B'shvil, for us, Yisroel, who are his rachis. That's all the Rebbeinu Shalom thinks about, day in and day out. There's nothing else. He's pasit, he's choylus ava on us. Every second, like you sang before, I didn't hear all the words. It must be, it's a new song and I'm an old guy. But precious neshama, v'chulu, but that's what it is, right? So all the Rebbeinu Shalom thinks about is us. And he created a world where we would be able to strive, to grow, to be perfect. And therefore he created a world, Bereishis Bar Elikim Meis HaShamayim, a world that's full of Shamayim. But also the Es HaAretz. But it's also a world that by its very definition, we have a more intimate relationship with the Aurbach that we're standing upon than the heavens that we gaze upon. So what's going on over here? Is it Shamayim or is it Aretz? Look, the Seudas Bas Ayin. And the pasuk says, "V'hachayos, chayos are malachim that are from the highest madrega." What's their avodah? You would think a chaya. I'm not talking about the chaya that your rebbeim called you, the chaya. That's what they called me. I don't know about you, but chayos, soifanim v'chayos hakodesh. So what would you say about them? You would say they're mamish like this with the Rebbeinu Shalom. Yet the pasuk says, Rotzoi v'shav. They run close to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and then they run back. They run close, they run back. What's going on? Tiferes is, anything that's living does not stay in one place. Right? A full bottle could be also doesn't stay in one place, but an empty bottle, right? Is a piece of rock, a piece of glass. That stays in one place. It has no life, it has no chiyus. Anything that's alive is in perpetual motion. What kind of motion is it in? Think about it. If you see somebody, you're not sure if they're alive or not, what do you do? What do you go check? You got to check if they're breathing. What's breathing? Inhale, exhale. I don't know if I'm doing it the right way. Inhale, exhale, right? Or you maybe check their pulse. What's the pulse? The pulse is the blood in, the blood out, the blood in, the blood out, the blood in, the blood out. Perpetual motion, constant movement, that's the way we're alive. V'hachayos, chiyus, is rotzoi v'shoiv. Nothing stays in the same place, but nothing keeps on moving and moving constantly forward, forward, forward. It's a step forward, then a step back. But the heilige Bas Ayin. So where's the avodah in the v'shoiv? Where's the avodah when you take the step back? What kind of an avodah is that? Chayos are constantly over the boira. So they're over the boira when they go forward. How do they over the boira when they go back? So it's because when they take a step back, because his word is that when they take a step back, they have a tremendous chalishus hadas. They're in a moment of pain. They're separated from the Rebbeinu Shalom. And that pain, that tsar, those pangs, that misery, causes them to want to get even closer. If you don't like it like that, maybe you could say it like this. Then when they take a step back, they have now a little bit of a different perspective. Sometimes when you're very up close to something, you can't tell what it is. When you take a step back, you're able to think, you're able to contemplate. But there's an avodah. He calls the avodah of the shoiv is the avodah of the shviras luchos. I said this once on the Yom Kippur, right? Luchos v'shivrei luchos munachim ba'aron means that the luchos, which represents our greatest moment, getting the luchos shniyos from the Rebbeinu Shalom, and shivrei luchos, which represents the greatest defeat and agony of Khal Yisroel, munachim ba'aron, they sat side by side in the aron, and they both had the same purpose. Bring the guy closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom. So he says like this. Bereishis bar elikim es hashamayim. That's when you're close. Ve'es ha'aretz. That's the shivrei luchos. That's the rotzoi, and that's the v'shoiv. V'ha'aretz hoisasoyu. And the Aurbach was wondering. Voihu. From emptiness. What in the world could that do for us? And the Rebbeinu Shalom said, Yehi Or Vayehi Or. That the Soyu and the Voyu are both Or. There's never a moment, Dr. Rebbe, that I'm not in love with you, even when you take a step back. Because that step back is going to push you forward. And that's how he understands this pasuk. Mela, let me end with a story. This story is said it over many times in the old shul, the OG, like they say. And the story goes like this. It's a Ma'aser Shahaya. I heard it from the guy who it happened with. There was a fellow in Chicago that was involved in Kiruv. He had a Kiruv organization. It was actually a cousin of mine. I forgot, but I think it was called Migdal. Anyone's here from Chicago? No? All right. No. Anyway, he had an organization. He had a Kiruv like Eitz Chaim here. He had a place in Chicago. And he was Makarev, this fella from Mamish Nothing. The guy he didn't know anything about anything. And over the course of time, he started to grow and to develop, and he started with the little things and then to the bigger things, and for learning and tefillin and Shabbos and kashrus. And the guy was mamish. He was off to the races. Ratzoi, running closer to the Rebbeinu Shleilam. Mamish, Ohr. Anyways, this guy told the following story. He came to my cousin to tell him a story. He says, look, Rebbe, I'm mamish, I'm into it all the way. Says, and I Shabbos is not a problem by me and this, and I'm doing everything, and and I'm getting ready to get married. I have this one thing. There's a restaurant in Chicago called Super Dogs. SUPERDAWGS. I have a picture of it on my phone because I once told the story in the shul. Then when a guy went to Chicago and saw it, he snapped a picture to tell me, you weren't lying, didn't I? I said, I don't make these things up. So, says, that's my one taiva. It's like the best hot dog, sausages, the place. You can't, there's no kosher place has anything like it. And I can't. And every couple of weeks, I take off my white shirt and my black pants and I put back on, like this, you know what I mean? Like you guys are just joking. I put on the jeans, v'chulu, and I go in there and I knock down a couple of hot super dogs and I'm good to go. Says, you know what? I'm such a hypocrite. I can't do it anymore. That's it. I'm going back one time. This is going to be my last time I ever go. And I'm never walking in there again. I'm done. I go in there. I sit down there like a bar. I sat down by the bar. And I ordered the whole menu. Because I know this is my last time. I ordered the whole menu. With the pickles, I have no idea. But the relish, the Polish, the sausage. I have it, mamish, all lined up by me. And I'm knocking him down. I'm like, it's unbelievable. That old guy comes in, he sits down next to me, and he's watching me. He's got this gigantic smile on his face. Wow. He can't get over it. Finally, he says to me, what's your name? I tell him, he says, you really love this stuff. He says, they don't make it like this anywhere in the world. This is the best I've ever had. You can't get this anywhere. I'm telling you, and I'm never coming back. What? He just blurted it out. He says, why are you never coming back if it's the best? He just said it, never coming back. I just can't afford it anymore. I mean, this is crazy. It's killing me. I mean, what am I making already? I'm making minimum wages. I can't do it. Okay, they schmooze. The guy, when he's about to leave the old man, he says to him, Jeffrey, he says, look, here's my card. If you ever need anything, give me a call. Puts the card in his pocket. He goes home. Comes home. He takes out the card from the pocket. He looks at it. And it's the owner of Super Dog's card.
No.
Chaim. He turns it around, and in the back it says, the bearer of this card eats free in Super Dogs Abias Goyal. And he says, God, what are you doing to me? I finally made the decision I'm never going back. And this is what you do to me? He couldn't understand it. So he went to my cousin and he asked him, hey, I don't get it. The Rebbeinu was playing games with me? So he told him like this. In this week's parsha, the Torah Kedusha tells us that Yaakov battled with the Sar Shel Esav, the Ish. That guy that we battle with every day, Yaakov battled him. And at the end of the story, he tells him, give me a bracha, and he says, okay, Lo yoyoy me'oid Yaakov Shimcha ki im Yisroel. We're changing your name. You made it. You're a hero. You made it. And your name from now on is going to be Yisroel Kisarisa Melikim V'Adam V'Tuchal. What's the taich? Kisarisa. So normal, if you look at it, it sounds like you're a sar. You won. But what does the Targum say? Targum says Kisarisa. That's our name, Yisroel. Why are we called Yisroel? Because Kisarisa Isravta. You battled the Yetzer Hara, Vatuchal, and you won. So why is our name Battle? Why is our name Battle? Our name should be Yuchot. Right? Vatuchal, that should be the name. Yeah? Teretz is, it's not about winning, Rabbi Weiss. The avodah and the growth comes by being a warrior. It's going to battle every day. Ratzoi v'shav. Inhale, exhale. Ratzoi v'shav. Yehiyar. That's the Shem Yisroel. That's the hiskarvus to the Rabbeinu Shalom. That's maybe what the Bas Ayin is saying. And therefore we're called Yisroel, we're called warriors. And my cousin said to this guy, you thought you won the battle, you walked out of super dogs, you're done with this. So to the Rabbeinu Shalom, no, you're still great, you're a warrior, never forget you're a warrior. And that's where you grow, even if sometimes you take a step back. So we should be zeicha that on the Hilula, the great Hilula of the Bas Ayin, he should be a Meilitz Yoshe for us. And go before the Kisei HaKavod and say, Rabbi Shalom, those are your Yidden that you gave them Shemayim va'aretz. You put them in a position that they should battle, that they should be warriors. And you told us in your heilige Torah, that even the Soyu va'voyu, even the Shivrei Luchais is Ohr. Because it's his skarvus, it's dveikus, it's intimacy with the Rabbi Shalom. And that the tsar of the Shivrei Luchais creates such a hiskarvus, and on the day will be zeicha to take part in that great art that we're destined to see, and to remain. The main idea, Rabbi say, is stay in the game and be warriors day in and day out. Amen.
I'm going to ask Rabbi Bernstein, who came all the way from Borough Park, to share a few words. Mamish, just a few words.
Shul of Baltimore and Uri and Kol HaKodesh. I got this here last year to be by Uri's house and to speak. And Baruch Hashem this year became bigger and bigger. It's mamish aschus in a new shul. I think this is the koyach also from Bas Ayin. People have to have a lot of schisim and schusim. The Bas Ayin was very makpid when people ending a Masechta, finish a Masechta, to make a Seudas mitzvah, to make a siyum and to make a Seudah. And he said why? Because he said usually there's a big fight in Shomayim that the Tzorah also, Samach Mehem, come to complaints about Jew. The Malach Michoel wants to be Melamed Zchus, Meilitz Yoshe. And then he say, when people doing Averes, and then doing after their mitzvahs, but we're doing a Basiyum Masech, even don't learn so good, missing something, not to so brand, and they make Masech, they make Asiyum, they're happy, and this knocked up the Yitzhorah. And then he said, the Samach Mem is called Samach Mem Ein Aleph Lamed. It's a Siyum Masech, Ein Lasos. This is what the Tzorah doesn't want. People should make a Siyum Masechta. And also Seudas Mitzvah Ein Lasos. To don't make a Seudas Mitzvah. This is what the Tzorah doesn't want. we come here together to Seudas mitzvah, und the Chazal said, Gdoile legime shemakereves es alevoves, we get closer each other, we singing together, and Shira is eine from Tefillah, we can ask and pray from Shem Yisborach, all the Yeshuas in the Chomes, what we see, what can people take out from the Seudas mitzvah. I want just to say a small words. Last week in the Parsha was meant, we have a koyach, ever has a koyach. Last week in the Parsha, we see when Rochel Meinu came to Yaakov, and she asked Yaakov Avinu, Over Liboni v'mayim meisa noichi, Yaakov went to Vayicher af Yaakov berochel, and he said, Vayicher af Yaakov berochel. Atachas elekim noichi. Why was Yaakov angry on Rochel? So she came to him, asked for a broche, why so angry on her? We can answer these with our teretz. We know, everyone knows the famous Gemara in the Dorim, where Rabbi Akiva came back after 12 years. He came to his house, and he heard someone said for the Rochel, his wife, look, your husband, as your husband is, he left you alone. And then she said, if you stay another 12 years, I will be also happy. Ask Chaim Shmulevitz, he's standing on the door, why is knocking, why he doesn't come in and say hello and go back? Why is going right away back and don't come in? As Chaim Shmulevitz answer, the 12 plus 12 is not 24 years straight. What's the meaning 12 plus, what means? Rochel, she knows that Rabbi Akiva was a Morah. She once she grew up at a Mitchochem, a Godel Batoye. She was davening and praying for Shem Yisborach. When Rabbi Akiva came after 12 years, and she saw is a Rosh Yeshiva with 12,000 Talmidim. The other 12 years now be the same 12 that before. And she will daven, she thinking the same Amoretz, and then after 12 years, 24, he said, Sheli v'shelochem me'or tefillos, everything belongs to Ohr. This is the koyach ha-tefillah, how you daven. This also, when Yaakov Avinu, when Rochel came to Yaakov Avinu, and she asked for children, Yaakov Avinu told her, my father has children, I don't have children, you don't have children, my tefillah is not, you have a lev nishbo, you can ask for Shem Yisborach. You more stronger than me. And this have everyone, Shira is gematria tefillah. Also the Bas Ayin said, as tefillah shel Rosh Yad, we say about the tefillah Rosh Yad is also begematria tefillah. Also begematria 515. This is tefillah 515 tefillah. When we're sitting together, is everyone knows what he needs. Yeshua is Nechomet, he can take out his Seudas Bas Ayin. He has a koyach, we see also the Bas Ayin always said that Achnoi, people of Achnoi, they can take out. He never should take out, he himself has a power to ask Hashem Yisborach, all you whatever you want, Shidduchim, children, Parnose, Refues, everyone has to ask in the Seudas Bas Ayin, Shevat to geholfen werden, what he needs. And ich will in die opportunity want to say, ich will machen Shebeach, and everyone should answer Amen. בזכות Seudas Elolem Mishbeach, אבל say נבוא מצווה יעקב, שבוע sagen, בזכות David ben Dov, שאל בצער שי בן ליבה, and David ben Tiferes, and שישל בת חווה מיר, שבזויכת zu Wege Magonim, and überwacht haben wir noch kijken erst, בזכות der Babalelule, selbst someone to say a name, ich kann es sagen. Da ist helfen, einfach chance Amen, und alle noch Refues mit Yeshuas, wie sie solche sein, zu binden bis am Mikdosh, bekore bei Yomeinu, Seudas Bas Ayin, b'meir Rabbeinu, Amen.
got it. That's